Hi everybody, this is Dee at Aloha Astro, and sorry I'm a little late at getting this video up. I had a crazy morning, pretty much what I predicted late last night when I was writing today's forecast. So let's read through over here at Aloha Astro. I post a daily horoscope that affects everybody based on the transits of the planets, and you can follow me on any of these social media sites that you see an icon for and see my daily forecast, or you can visit me at alohaastro.com to also get the forecast. So full moon in Taurus, October 24th, arrives this afternoon with a touch of the crazy and unpredictable as it joins Uranus in Taurus. Before entering Taurus, the moon winds down its Aries transit this morning. Impatience, irritability, arrogance, and rudeness may flare as the full moon feelings intensify. Will the cow jump over the moon and the dish run off with the spoon? Maybe something like that while Moon and Uranus oppose Sun and Venus in Scorpio and form a quincunx to Mercury conjunct Jupiter in Scorpio. A square between Mercury and Mars in Aquarius can definitely trigger a flight or fight response. If you have a clear mind, move forward even if your plans are radical, but if you are reacting to stimuli, postpone decisions until tomorrow when the moon is further away from Uranus. The Taurus-Scorpio energy highlights materialism and money. Jupiter sextile Pluto in Capricorn can increase the desire for big money. A record-setting Mega Millions jackpot of $1.6 billion as I write this reflects this potent manifesting money vibe. Someone may make history as a billionaire winner at this full moon. And just as a side note, there was a ticket in South Carolina, one winner, so they are indeed very blessed, and I wish them good luck with all that they do with that money and that they do good works with it. What would you do as a billionaire? I'm happy to tell you that if I win, I will still be reading charts for people. What passion or purpose would still be yours if you won $1 billion? Spend or give money joyfully to welcome more, and count what you have with gratitude to see it grow. May the full moon bless you abundantly. So that's my take on the full moon in a brief look, and let's look at a deeper look here where we can see the actual chart of the current transiting planets, and you can see that we do have a nice grand trine going on here that gives us some feeling that we want to be doing whatever our purpose is. This is a very purpose-driven grand trine. We have Mercury conjunct Jupiter in Scorpio, which wants to grow and expand, and in very deliberate or direct ways. It's kind of all or nothing energy. Scorpio takes one side or the other, high road, low road, doesn't really see gray matter in between. It's all light or dark, and it makes a trine to Chiron in Pisces and to the North Node in Leo. And the North Node in Leo here is also involved in a T-square involving Venus retrograde and the Sun, which are conjunct, and the conjunction of Moon and Uranus at the full moon here. So some of us may be poised upon a question concerning our money, our resources, how we support ourselves, and what are we going to do about it? Are we going to follow a path that feels right for us in terms of purpose, or are we going to, I would say, maybe put the money first and not look at the actual importance of the work that we're doing or the value that we feel when we're doing something that is aligned with our sense of purpose? So there may be some questions about actual career focus at this time, especially since the North Node is also making a quincunx to Saturn in Capricorn. If you're miserable in a job, even though maybe it pays you good money and you have a family to feed, as Chiron might indicate in here, you might be thinking that you have to stick with what you've got in order to maintain life as you know it. But I think this T-square may be really bringing in the focus of the full moon and saying, what do you really love, or what is your purpose? Are you being true to yourself? And if you applied as much energy in your purpose, would you indeed have the support and be taken care of as a result? And I would say with the trine between the moon and Uranus to Saturn and the quincunx here from the north node to Saturn, probably yes. Will it be easy? Maybe not really. This is definitely a work aspect, and it can mean change in what you do, change in the work that you do. We do have a nice little sextile here with Mercury and Jupiter to Pluto, which I did mention in the forecast. And this can make us desire more. Everybody at some point needs more because that's just what happens, the cost of living or new obligations. So the desire for more can lead to taking those moves and making changes that will enable you to produce more, have more, be more. And if it means gaining greater confidence or stepping into a more powerful role, then you're capable. The square here between, technically it's between Mercury and Mars, that can bring up some fears or wanting to react or respond to things without stopping to think about things. So slow down and do think. I would say be with the feeling or the energy of this full moon before you come to final decisions. If you did take the days leading up to the full moon and look at what is important to you and analyze and logically sort things out, and you're ready to move forward, good. But if you have not, and now this full moon's upon you and you don't know what to do, don't, all the expressions like, leap before you look or throw the baby out with the bathwater. So stop and think and look. And also, don't allow the opinions of other people who are not you to change your mind if you've made up your mind. Yes, people can have wisdom or they've been through similar experiences, but they are also not necessarily you or doing what you're doing. And if you have something like a business idea, just keep in mind that many people will pursue a business idea and fail, but then there are those who persist and do not fail. So do not listen to other people telling you you cannot do something until you actually try it for yourself and see if you can maintain. See if you can follow through on those changes and growth. This quincunx of the moon to Jupiter also supports growth, and some of these things may be upsetting to other people because of this opposition here between Venus and the Sun and Moon and Uranus, and how people see you. If that is threatened or that changes, everybody who ever moves ahead in life, I feel at a certain point they leave people behind, or they leave an image of themselves behind, and they have to move out of that holding pattern where other people see them as a particular type of a person, or that, oh, well, I know you. That doesn't allow for change and growth. That doesn't allow for development of the person. And this really points toward some radical changes on a personal level that can affect your self-esteem, your self-worth, the money that you have, the money that you attract. I feel like the moon is really highlighting that, and tied in with the North Node. Well, you're not going to make everybody happy, but that's okay. The people who really do love you and support you will be all right with your changes, and the ones that no longer are at the same place that you are at energetically are going to fall away. So we do have some quiet background energy here with Neptune in Pisces making a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn, and a weak trine. It's beginning to fade to Mercury, or actually it should be coming in. Yeah, it's beginning to fade to Mercury. So this is really a mind over matter and holding on to your faith type of an aspect pattern, to believe that you will be able to do something and then to persist in it. And the discipline that comes out of Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, can make your dreams come true. You just have to stick to it and keep at it. And despite what other people say or how challenging or difficult they might make it for you, they might be coming from a place of fear, thinking they're going to lose you. Keep that in mind as well, that it might not be malicious or anything of that nature, but you may be triggering insecurity or possessiveness in somebody else if you are attempting to go through changes and they don't like what they're seeing because they don't want you to change. So it is based on people's insecurities and fears. So that's what we have going on in the heavens. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol. We round up from 1 degree 13 minutes to 2 degrees, an electrical storm. The cosmic power able to transform all the implications of natural existence. Now, Taurus definitely resonates with the whole realm of nature, and it's an earth sign, a fixed earth sign, and it has to do with our senses, what we taste, touch, smell, hear, everything. Taurus is extremely empathetic and very feeling, very sensual, and therefore it loves material things. And it also wants to make sure that everybody's comfortable, well-fed, safe, secure. It's concerned for the good of other people as well. It's one of the kindest signs, actually. I find Taurus energy to be incredibly kind, and although they can sometimes hold on to things, especially money, and be known to be cheap, they can also be extremely generous when there's a real need for generosity. So the Taurus energy is very earthy and very material and very attuned to nature and being here in body. And I feel like the electrical storm, coincidentally, we have that electrical Uranian energy right now with the moon making a conjunction to that ruling planet of Aquarius. So we have some Aquarius overtones and some of that electrical on-off erratic type of uncontrollable element going on. So it says, at this second stage of the fivefold sequence, we see a picture which contrasts with the one for the first stage, thus a celestial display of power versus a clear, lovely sounding little stream. So I didn't read the previous one, but it must be about a little stream. Back of every natural self-expression stands the tremendous power of the soul field itself, but one of the myriad aspects of the creative word that is the origin of this universe. At certain times, this power compels the natural earth-conditioned personality to accept, perhaps in awe, the spiritual potentials of its higher celestial destiny. This experience of power can both illumine and shatter. The next symbol reveals its positive possibilities. This is a stage of existence in which revelation is implied, at least as a potentiality. The consciousness may be deeply disturbed by the visitation, but the substance of the individual being can be fecundated by the experience. So we can basically become more or become impregnated or fertilized by the experience of a visitation of energy that is, I would say, of a more cosmic or soul level energy and less about our own individual material world and life and the borders and the boundaries that we have where everything is clearly defined. And I definitely feel that with the potential for something that is quite changing, life-changing and electrical, and definitely at 0 degrees, that this can become in body, that this can be happening now. Now, interestingly, perhaps if anybody is trying to conceive, I would say this might be a very potent full moon to be able to bring in an actual conception. In my earlier forecast for the 2 days preceding this full moon, particularly yesterday, I felt like we were at a point of materialization, and what was extremely important was to set aside a time or a place today to make something sacred and to be able to put full focus on what the desires are, and to be very clear on that before going into that. Not just like, oh, I'd like some more money, but how much money do you need? How much money do you need per month? What kind of a raise do you want? What is the dollar figure you'd like to see your business doing? Get down to the actual what is really required, and what can you see yourself having, and then go and ask for it and focus very clearly upon that, while creating that opening or that space where you disconnect from everything else and everybody else, and you make it a very personal thing. Now, I have my own methods for prayers or meditation or rituals. I feel like the best thing to do for you is if you do not have one, create one of your own today and follow your intuition. Find a place that feels special to you. Create a place that feels special to you. Pick a time that feels comfortable for you. Use tools in that if it helps you focus your attention. Say something from the heart, whether you pray or you don't pray, or whether you want to say something out loud, whether you want to do it in silence, but focus the attention fully on what your desires are, and eliminate all the contradictions to that. And I think that we are at a point of materialization and manifestation that can come through at this full moon. So make the most of this energy and be safe. Especially, I think it's calmed down now that we're into the later afternoon and the moon is actually in Taurus. When it was still in Aries this morning, there was a lot of just unsettled energy, and now it is starting to mellow. But the emotional intensity of the moon opposing the sun is always strong, and since we do have Venus involved as well, people are going to take things more personally, or they may have attachments bound up in their particular responses. So consider how other people are reacting or responding. And if they are definitely out of character, keep in mind that we have an erratic planet joining the moon that can make people react or respond or behave that way. Do not stand in the way of anybody who is very adamant that they know they have to do something, that this is their purpose, because they're stepping up to the work of this T-square, and there may be some declarations of that as a result of this grand trine. Whether you're making the declarations or somebody else is, support people in that and let some money flow, as I mentioned in my forecast. Perhaps include that in your ritual. If you take out your money, your wallet, bless it. Put it under the the full moon light, and let it absorb some of that cosmic energy, as the Sabian Symbol speaks of, that there is literally an impregnation of celestial or cosmic energy, and that there is tremendous power. So we are under a very powerful full moon, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time when we get to the new moon in about 2 weeks' time. Be safe and follow me, and check in for your forecast every day or schedule an appointment. I would love to work with you. Take care.